Welcome to Chords and Crossroads, a show that brings together songwriters, music industry voices, and other creatives to share the pivotal crossroads that shape their journey. Thanks for joining us on the show today. I am so happy to have my guest, Morgan Raum. She is a friend and a fellow creative here in Nashville. She's very talented, and I'm excited for the conversation we're going to have because it's about crossroads in life and maybe what happens when life takes you in a different direction than you planned. So, Morgan, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm very excited to have you. And I want to start off with a little background. How did you meet music?
Oh gosh, how did I meet music? I have always been a music fan to my core. So I would say when I was younger, I remember being 3 years old and my favorite artist was Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, I
And
love
thank my dad for that. Grew up on a lot of 90s music.
it.
But I was just always there was always music playing in my house in some way. And then when I got in elementary school, I would spend recess writing little songs that I would write. So I always had a love for
Love that.
words. And then as I got older, I started really understanding the meaning of lyrics
Mhm.
and figuring out what kind of songs I really liked. So I will never forget actually when I was 14, 13, I was 13. I walked downstairs and like I said, grew up John Mayer, Dave Matthews, Counting Crows, a lot of 90s, no country. Did not grow up on country music. I'm
Interesting.
born and raised in
Okay.
Orange County, California, so
Uh-huh.
not a big country music town at the time in 2014. But I ended up walking downstairs, and my dad had his little speakers in there, and he goes, "Morgan, I'm gonna play you a song, and you have to just listen to it before I tell you what it is." It was Luke Bryan's "Drunk on You," and it was the first country song I'd ever truly listened to, and I was floored at how much I loved it. And so my whole life
Wow.
truly changed after hearing that song. So that is how I met music.
Okay, I did not know that. I love
No.
I love that back. See, I'm glad I asked you that question
Yeah.
because we do know each other pretty well, but I had not heard that. I
Yeah.
love it. So you fell in love young age country music. How did you and your family get to Nashville? Because I want to walk into one of the things that just
Mhm.
blows me away that you got to do when you moved here.
Yes.
But I want to know, like, how did that happen? How did you get here?
Yeah. So got into country music. It became an obsession. It was all I was listening to. It went literally, there was a switch that went off in my brain from having never really heard anything country related. This was
Mhm.
a time of, I was a middle school girl. This was One Direction, Justin Bieber. Country music was not very popular in my town. And so I got really into it was very much the 2014, the Florida Georgia Line, Luke Bryan, Jay
Okay.
Snelldine era. And so I had a friend that I met through Instagram who had a fan account for a country music page that I was all into. And I saw that she went to the CMA Fest in Nashville. And I remember seeing that and being like, Nashville? Huh. Never really thought about that. My only interaction, not even interaction, my only knowledge of Nashville was what I saw on the Hannah Montana movie, which was a lot
That
of
is
farmland
hilarious.
and filmed in
Yes.
Franklin. So that was really all my knowledge of it. And so when I saw that there was a festival of people who loved country music all coming together in Music City, I was like, wow, I want to do that sometime. So that became my next obsession was how do I get to Nashville? So all I asked, I was 13 at the time. All I wanted was to go to Nashville. Birthday, Christmas. Morgan, what do you want? To go to Nashville.
Oh,
I made a full
wow.
PowerPoint to my parents of reasons why I should go to Nashville. Because my dad was like, "You're not even 21. What are we gonna do?" I said, "Well, here's what we're gonna do." And I made a full list of everything. And so
Now, did you at that time think, I want to go to Nashville and I want to be in the music industry? Or was it just, I just want to go be where all this is happening?
Yeah, great question. I would say a mixture of both. It
Okay.
was very much so at this time, which I guess I did leave out a big part. At this time, I was writing songs pretty
Okay.
actively. I started, like I said, in elementary school, I'd write little songs. But when I turned about 11, 12 is when I started taking guitar lessons and being more serious about it. And so having this love of country music and it being this town that, Taylor Swift went to and became a singer, it was so fascinating to me. And the town I grew up in was very much not musical. There wasn't really anywhere to go listen to live music. So the idea of walking down the street on Broadway and there being just live
Oh,
music everywhere, it floored me. And so I just had to come see it for myself. I had to
I
see it.
love that because I'm thinking back, I'm trying to like really quickly in my brain go, okay, 11, 12 years ago, social media wasn't what it is today, but it
Mhm.
was around. So you
Yes.
had more exposure to probably, I'm guessing, people posting pictures and videos so that you did know, because you didn't know anything about Nashville. And then you go, oh, Broadway. Oh,
Right.
that's where all the music
For
happens.
sure, yes. Instagram was pretty new at this point.
Yeah.
Everyone was posting like the duck faces, the peace signs, all those, things that 12-year-old girls would post at the time. But it was really, like I said, I think it was even more like YouTube videos I was looking up,
Okay.
finding like I was super obsessed with watching music videos and lyric videos. And so it was, I also, like I said, I didn't grow up on country music. So
Hmm.
when that door opened, it was a whole new world out there of new songs, new artists I discovered
Wow.
that had been around forever that everyone knew about except for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So here's the big thing. Um, when you were 14, you played at the Bluebird.
Yes. So,
So I want to hear how that came to be because that's a big deal. If you don't know, if you're listening and maybe you're not a country music fan, which I hope you are, and maybe you will be now. But Bluebird is one, it's probably the best known local place in Nashville and anywhere for writers rounds. And that's where two or three songwriters come together and they literally sit in the middle and they tell the stories behind their songs and they play it acoustically, which is one of the things I'm trying to do with this show is to give people access to what that feels like, looks like, sounds like. And so I love that you were 14 and you sang and played at the Bluebird. So let's hear
yes.
about that.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, Taylor Swift got discovered at the Bluebird Cafe. And so when
I did
I
not know that.
you didn't know
I
that. That's
didn't
where
know
she was.
that.
I
Oh
think
my
she was
word.
around 14 or she was maybe even younger.
She
It might have been 14 when she got discovered there.
okay.
And so I was 13. Came out to Nashville because I got my Christmas wish and I got a trip to Nashville. We did everything, all the tourist stuff, the Country Music Hall of Fame, the Grand Ole Opry. And on my list was I have to go see the Bluebird Cafe. And I did not realize how tiny the Bluebird Cafe is to begin with. For
Yeah.
anyone who hasn't been, it is a
Yeah.
shoebox. It
It
is the
is.
most iconic spot in Nashville. Anyone who is anyone has played there,
Yes.
but it is teeny, teeny tiny. It's not what you'd expect.
Not at all.
And so I remember looking up before we got here. I was like, how can I go? I just wanted to see it. And then I saw that there was a open mic songwriters night. And I, at this point, had written songs in my journal. I had recorded
Oh,
little things at home, but I'd never really played any songs in front of people other than my family and a few friends. And so I saw that they did the songwriters night and I called, did all the research I could, and we showed up about an hour before to a line out the door of people wanting to get to play the Bluebird Cafe. And so, literally by luck and a prayer, I got in and was able to perform a song that I wrote. And
that is just amazing.
it
That's
was
a big
such,
deal.
yeah, it was such a pivotal moment for me because it was something that I just sitting in my room in California. Nashville felt so far away,
Yeah.
all of it just felt like a dream to actually have been standing up on that stage and feeling like I got to be here. Again, just visiting. We didn't even live here yet. And so I was just in Nashville standing on the stage that I had dreamt about and researched and it just felt like one of those moments that I was like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Okay. I was going to ask you, when did you know and how did you know this is it? This is my thing.
Yeah.
But now I know it
Yeah.
was that moment.
Yeah.
So that that's incredible. So then how did you get here? Because I know you went to Belmont,
Mhm.
which is in Nashville, Belmont University, to study songwriting and business, I believe, was
Music
your other
business. Yep.
music business. So how did that come about? Did you just after being at the Bluebird, you said, "Oh my word, this is my path in life. This is where I'm going. This is the road I'm going down."
Yeah. So I went back to California. Our family trip is over, went back home, and Nashville was just on repeat in my mind. I was like,
Oh,
how can I get back there? And my whole family is born and raised in California. So I had no real connection to the South.
mhm.
I was just thinking, what in the world can I do to get here? And I'm very close with my family. So I knew that there wasn't a world where I would just, pick up and
Yeah.
leave. That would be really hard for me. And so I looked up music schools near Nashville. Belmont University was the first one that popped up, and I was like, perfect, done. That's where I want to go. And so I'm a little stubborn and I'm a little sassy. So I went downstairs and I told my parents, well, one day I'm going to move to Nashville because I'm going to go to Belmont. And if you guys want to be close to me, then I guess we all have to move there.
Oh, that is
I did not mean it.
hilarious.
There's no way I would have, but I really thought maybe if I say that they'll believe it and then they'll want to move to Nashville. And so they were
That
like,
is
wow, okay,
so
she's serious
funny.
about it. And then we came back out here a few months after our first trip because my parents loved it too. And really, they had been thinking about moving and if we ever left California, where would we go? And this is before Nashville was cool. Now everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like, you're
Yeah.
going where?
'Cause
Huh?
you've been here a
Why?
long time.
Yes, just hit 10
mean-
years here. Yeah, I moved here in 2015.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've spent a lot of your life here.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to high school here, and it was the best. I mean, we came out here, found a house, and we really just picked up without knowing anybody. I came into ninth grade, my freshman year of high school, a month late. So I was like the new kid walking in the door. My brother had just started sixth grade, so he was walking into a new middle school. We had no idea what we were doing. But if there's one year I could relive of my life, it would be 2015. I don't think anything will ever change that. It was the best year of my life ever.
I love that your parents were so, I mean, I know they were also maybe thinking, okay, what are we going to do in life or where are we going to go? Maybe that had already been going through their brain. But the fact that you were so passionate and you have such talent and they saw it and they supported it. And I know you were being sassy and funny and saying, I'm going to school there. But I love that they were all in
They
for
were
you. I
all
know they
in.
were doing it for them too, but they were
Mhm.
all in for you and your dream.
Mhm.
And I love that they would do that for you.
Oh
So
yeah.
so you got here, you went to Belmont,
Yes. Yeah.
loved it.
I have the most supportive parents. They were very gung ho, and like I said, they were already thinking it, but I think they took it as a sign of maybe Nashville's the place we need to go. And so I spent high school here. Whole family was here.
Okay.
Graduated high school, and the one school I applied to was Belmont. I didn't even look at another school. I was just so sold on it. And I saw that you had to apply to the songwriting program. And so I was like, okay, that's when I really amped up. Middle school, I was
Mhm.
really big into writing songs. When I got to high school, I focused more on friends, and I was still doing music, but not as actively as I was in
Yeah.
middle school. And then it was time to apply for the songwriting program. I was like, oh gosh, I gotta
'Cause
get
that's
back
very
on it.
selective. They were very selective
It is
about
very
who they let
selective.
in to that
Yes.
program.
And so I was intimidated because it's this amazing school in the middle of Nashville. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is where all the songwriters go. And so I really worked hard on perfecting lyrics and really trying to think outside the box
Mhm.
of the songs I was writing when I was 13.
Yeah.
And so
And you had a little life now, so
I had a little life
that
now.
helps.
Yes, that
Yeah.
did help. So I applied, I got into Belmont, and then I decided to add on a second major as a music business major to, know the industry and know what I was getting myself into. And I had the best time. I was during COVID, so that was definitely interesting. But I had the best college experience. I loved it. Go Bruins.
That's I love that. I love it. And you got out, I know we met in a very interesting way, and we've been doing some co-writing together, songwriting, and that's really how we got to be friends. And then I know that at one point you recognized maybe that what you thought would be your path really wasn't for you anymore. Not that you
Yes.
because you describe it too, but I know you love music, you want to be connected, and I also know you have other creative things that you want to do and you love doing. Walk through a little bit of that because you explored the songwriting side and the business side, and you've had great opportunities and internships and working with different people in the industry to just get a feel for. I think it's just a really great, well-rounded. You've gotten a taste of the music business,
Mhm.
which you love it. But I know also you discovered I've been building up for this dream. It's been my goal. I've been doing all the things to get there. This is not the path for me.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and I wanted to have this conversation with you because I know there are people out there who they start I've always been jealous of people who knew what they wanted and they went for it, and then I've always been like, I've kind of struggled because I was writing lyrics when I was 11 years old. Nobody ever knew because I did it in secret
Mhm.
because I didn't know it could be a thing in life. And
Yeah.
I've played music my whole life and all the things, but I never see. I've always faulted myself for I should have, gone that path my whole life, and here we are. But you did that, and then you went, this is not for me. So for anybody out there, if you're watching and you have, maybe you've been pursuing a dream and you say that it's not for me anymore, but I don't know what to do with that, because that can be very make one feel very insecure and lost.
Definitely. I think what's so crazy was my whole life, I was always so sure of what I wanted to do from
Mhm.
11 and writing songs to being in middle school and wanting to move to Nashville to being here. That was my life. And I did never see a plan B. And so I went to college, studied songwriting, music business, really got a taste of all that. And I was kind of in this bubble. Everyone's a creative there. And so
Mhm.
I feel, yeah, everyone's a creative in Nashville as a whole. But I graduated. So I'm 22 and graduating college. And I feel like that's a pivotal moment in a lot of people's lives of what do I do now? What happens next? I don't have
Yeah.
classes anymore. I don't have my professors telling me,
Mhm.
what to do. Now it's just you're on your own. And that was the moment where I felt like all this time I've known exactly what I want to do. And now I feel like
Mm.
I have not been further from what do I want to do. And the thing about music business that I never realized when I was younger, I always said, I want to work in the music business. That means a million things.
Yeah.
It's not just a one path. You can be in
Mm-mm.
publishing, you could be in PR, you can be in management. The list goes on and on. And so I feel like it was probably my senior year of college when I actually started realizing, oh man, what path of
Mhm.
music do I want to do?
Mhm.
And so I had an internship in college where I was working for a media outlet, a country music media outlet, where I was writing articles and I got a taste of a side of music that I didn't even know was possible. I was still getting to be creative without being a songwriter.
Mhm.
Um, and I still got to write and I still got to, go to all the events and I was having so much fun with it. And when that internship ended, I thought, okay, now back to management or songwriting, I got to figure it out. And then I had this epiphany where I realized I can do both. It doesn't have
Mm.
to be, sitting in an office every day supporting an artist. You can still be creative and be on the music business side. And that was something I really didn't realize until I had that internship. And I think what drove me for songwriting, besides passion for so long, was thinking if I want to be in the music industry and I want to be creative, that's the only way I can do
Oh,
it.
right.
And so, yeah, once I learned that, and I did, I worked at, so when I graduated college, I started writing for a magazine. And then I got my big girl job at one of the top agencies in Nashville for music. And I had a blast there, met so many amazing people. Um, but I was still like, I don't know if this is my long term, if this is for me, what I want to do. And the journey of figuring that out has been a journey.
And you're still on it.
And I'm
I
still
mean,
on
I
it.
think
I
I
think we
think
always
so.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't wanna be at a place in life when I'm not, because I think then I used to think we have to get it all figured out, like, right now, and now I'm like, "No, we don't."
Mhm.
And we can keep changing and growing, and especially doing creative things.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to know, you don't know I'm asking you this. Well,
Oh,
you don't know
no.
anything I'm asking you today, but
Uh-oh.
so I so admire you and all the things you're exploring right now, because you are so good at songwriting and being out there and kind of being in the forefront of social activities with country music. And I know you've been on red carpets and you've interviewed people, and you're so engaging and you do that really well, and you're a great writer, and your photography is amazing. So there are all
Thank
these
you.
creative things that you do, and I love them all.
Thank
And I
you.
know, and I've told you this before, I'm so impressed by your willingness to try different things. So, what or who has given you that confidence, especially at your age, to just go, you know what? I mean, because I know it's scary and I know that you feel insecure about certain things, but I mean, on the whole, it's like, oh my gosh, you have such amazing confidence in a great way, and you're so humble. It's not like you're out there being false and cocky. You are just like genuine and authentic. So who helped you with that?
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I would
It's all true.
say, oh, thank My parents.
Mm.
They have been so supportive in the sense of find what you want to do and find something you love and then make a way to make that what you do. They've never tried to force me to fit into this,
Mm.
peg that I don't belong in. And so I feel like with their support and their advice and their
Mhm.
confidence in me has lasted way their confidence is me in me is way stronger than my confidence in myself a lot of the time. And
I love
so
that.
yeah,
Mm.
they absolutely have given me the freedom to figure out what I want to do. And so even when I was working these big jobs and just trying to figure it out, they'd sit down with me and be like, "Okay, what do you like about this job? What do you not like about this job?" And kind of almost doing a process of elimination to figure out what it is I do want.
I love that.
Yeah.
That what a great process to have somebody, whether it's your parents or a friend or whomever, to just sit there with you and go, "Okay, what do you like about it?"
Yeah. Cuz that's I
Or
think
not.
one of the biggest things I've learned is there are ample things in this world that you could want to do, but figuring out what you don't want often leads you there a lot faster than figuring out what you do want to do.
That's true.
And that's helped me a ton with, my career since college. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like they are also the people that will kind of call you out and go,
Oh, absolutely.
not
Absolutely.
so sure about that, dear?
Definitely. They know that I'm creative. I've always been, they say you have the science or math side or like the
Yeah.
English. I'm definitely have the English
Yeah.
side. And so they've always known that, and they've always seen it. And so I mean, I think they knew I was going to be creative before I even knew I was.
Mm.
And so they've been very good about helping me find opportunities too. They'll be sitting at a restaurant and they'll talk to someone next to them and come home like, Morgan, I just talked to this person and they work at blah, 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 blah. And I gave them your email and they are my biggest advocate. And so that's helped so much. I mean, Nashville's all about relationships, which is,
Yes.
I did not I mean, everyone says it, but
Mm.
until you experience
Mhm.
it, man, it is fully a relationship town. It is, I would say, just about every opportunity I've had has been based off of, someone you meet or someone who offers to help you or a mentor. It is all about just getting out there and talking to people. I
Yes.
mean, they said it in school too. Like I went to the big music school and I had the big job, but talking to people in my class, like that was some of like my classmates have gotten so far. And they said at Belmont, I remember sitting in my classes, they're like, look around this room because who's in this room with you is who's going to help you in 10 years when you need a job, is who's going to be looking, they need a
Wow.
client that needs help or, and it's
Mhm.
very true. It's how I guess Nashville runs. It's off of relationships.
Well, and I want to do a little sidebar here too, because that's how we met.
Yes, that is how we met.
That's how we met. I was sitting at a table with friends, and you were with your parents behind me, and I heard your dad say something about a fraternity from college that I was involved with when I was at school, and I whipped my head around and went, "Oh my gosh." And then, told them what I was doing in life, and they said,
Mhm.
"Oh, our daughter's a songwriter, and y'all should meet." And then I want to thank you for that too, because you graciously, I mean, there are a few years between us. And I was just like, "Can we go grab coffee? I'd love to know more because I'm doing this and here are the things I'm involved in. I want to learn from you." And I think that started a really cool friendship. And then we have written some songs together, and you have been um such an encourager to me. Like, because you come to a new place and you do new things, and it doesn't matter like what your age is or your interests. And when you can do that for each other, I think that's amazing. And you
True.
also planted the seed for this show, Chords and Crossroads. So you're here right now watching this because of Morgan, because of a
I wouldn't say because
conversation.
of me.
Yes,
Hey,
because
you're the one who made it happen.
well, but you planted such a great seed when I was struggling. I was at a crossroad, and we were talking about different situations we were both in about I'm trying to figure out if I should do this or this. And I'm like, I'm trying to transition from this podcast I was doing and these things I was doing, and I really want to transition to do this. And you go, how about if you do blah 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 with all your contacts and the things that have been going on in your life? And I went, oh my gosh, that would be so cool. So here
And
we
here
are.
we are.
And here we
And here we
are.
are.
So I appreciate that, and I one of the things is not only the connections that we make anywhere in life, wherever we are, we can do that. This town is very much like that. And people talk about it, and then once you experience, you go, "Oh, that's what people talk about."
Mhm.
But also just being willing, like you were willing to spend time. You didn't know me. I mean, we were in a bar, and I was like, "Oh, hey." And you were like, "Okay, yeah, let's talk." And then we just I don't know, it was just one of those we kinda had that friendship click, and
Yeah.
now we get together and talk about different things we're trying and
Yeah,
doing and
and it's
getting
been
out there.
years, like, that's what's so cool about it is it could have
Yeah.
just been we met and we got coffee one time, but this was years ago, and we
Yeah.
still regularly get coffee, we
Yeah.
wrote together, and we're doing
Yep.
this, we give each other advice with business, it's like,
Yeah.
that's exactly my whole point of relationships is you never know, you could meet someone in a bar, and
That's
it ends
right.
up being so just great.
Yes. And so I want to say thank you for that
Well,
because
thank
it
you.
really has meant a lot. And I am glad for our friendship. And I'm so excited with all the things that you are doing. And I'm really proud of you for stepping out and trying. You're doing new things, but it's really things that you know how to do well. Do you want to talk at all as we close? Do you want to share what you're doing now, or
Sure.
we
Yeah,
can have it in the
so
notes or something?
yeah, let's do it. We'll see how my answer is, then we can decide if we're gonna do
We
it.
can edit.
Yes, we can edit. But, right now I'm the editor for a magazine in Nashville, which has been so much fun because I'm getting to interview artists and I'm getting to at my core, I just love Nashville, and that's obviously my story really starts with Nashville. And so getting to just be a part of, like, the growth and seeing all the new things that are popping up and getting to share that with others, I really love that. And so being part of the magazine has been a great way to be creative and still be involved in music
Mhm.
and the music industry, but
That's
also
amazing.
getting to just do not fitting a square, I think has been my
Mhm.
thing. Is now I feel like I get to do the music. I get to do the Nashville stuff. I love restaurants. I get to go to new restaurants. I love social media. I get to post fun reels. It's all of
Yeah.
that. And then I also, ever since I was younger, I've done photography. And that's something that I've just been like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it for fun. And as I've gotten older, it's become more of a job. And so that's been really exciting.
You
And
helped me with a brand shoot,
I
and it was
did.
great. It was a great experience, and the
Good.
pictures are
Oh,
phenomenal. So
thank you.
thank you
You
for
made
that
it
as
easy. You
well.
were a great model.
Well,
You were a great model.
you are kind. You're kind. Okay, so you're working for the magazine,
Yes.
photography.
Mhm.
Anything else that you're pursuing independently that you want to share, or do you want to just
Trying to think
keep
if I am.
exploring?
Is there anything else I'm doing that I'm
Yeah, you're
leaving
doing a
out?
lot. Well, and we've talked at some point about because you're so good at social media too, and just might what that might look like with helping other people who might be struggling with their social media presence, whether it's helping them do a brand shoot or maybe even some consulting with, how they post and what they post.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
I feel like social media, it's funny. I was just talking to someone about this yesterday how, it started with just sharing, like Instagram was just literally sharing photos with your friends. And now it's become a whole business. And
Yeah.
I had a time where I was working at an influencer agency. And so I learned a whole other side of Instagram that I never even knew about.
Hmm.
And so I do think it's really cool to use that and like, I guess get experiences from
Hmm.
it, you know?
Hmm. I
I
think
don't
it's
know if I like the
amazing.
way I worded that, but we'll crop and
Sure.
cut.
No, that was great.
We'll crop and
You said
cut.
it just fine.
Okay.
It's all good. So the last thing I want to know, what would you tell somebody who may be watching right now and saying, "Wow, I've been unsure about where I'm headed.
Mhm.
I've been on this path. I'm hitting this, I've got this intersection that just showed up and I'm not really sure what to do." What's a word of encouragement you would give them if they're just kind of sitting in that place of, I don't know what to do here
Yeah.
at all. I'm lost."
Yeah. I would say everyone has been there. Your
Yeah.
favorite celebrities, the big executives at companies, the
Yeah.
person sitting next to you at a bar. Everyone has been there. And so I feel like it's really easy to compare yourself to everyone around you and be like, oh, well, we're the same age and they're already at XYZ and this person's done this. But your story is your story.
Yeah.
And you are the person who gets to write it and you get to choose what you want to do. And so I think it's
That's
finding
so good.
things. I've always said since I was little, I want to do something that I wake up every day and I don't feel heavy. I don't feel like, oh, I have to go to
Mm,
work today, I have to do this. And so finding something that you truly
mhm.
love that means something to you, I think is what you should really go after, even if it's not the popular choice.
So brilliantly said.
Thank you.
Seriously. Thank you. That is such great encouragement for anyone out there.
Yay.
Thank you for being here. I
Thank you for
appreciate you
having
so
me. This has
much.
been so fun.
I love it. And thank y'all for joining us. And be sure and sit there wherever you are and think through what Morgan just said, because it's great wisdom. And it's never too late. You're never too old. I don't think you're ever too young. Pursue it, try it. And, we all have to do what we need to, as my friend the other day was saying, to keep the lights on. But do explore it and think about where you want to be, whatever your calling and your passion is. We thank you for being here. God bless and keep you, and we'll see you next time.